Okay, good morning everybody. Welcome back. We're going to make an attempt to dial this alignment in on this radio. Now, I didn't do a lot of background research for digging out alignment information for these particular models of radio. And generally on some of the other model manufacturers, they will, always, if they don't include it in the set of documentation for the radio and the writers, they will point to another volume where you can glean the information regarding general procedures for doing the alignment. Kind of a broad overview of, but not in particular where specifically to connect your test equipment to the points in the radio. You'll have to figure that out yourself. So, with that being said, we're just going to wing it and see what we can do. There is nothing on here that points you. Now there may be on other writers' pages like 14.5, 14.6, 14.7 for the allied portion of the documentation, but I wasn't going to go that deep. So what we're going to do is what I've done in the past. This is going to be off all my other experiences with alignments on these particular radios. Now we've identified all the adjustment points in the radio. I don't know if you can see it under this light. This one here is the 15 megacycle adjustment on the antennas, on antenna coil, and this one here is on this coil. This one here, which shows it on the loop, is where you will probably generally find it. And if you look here, here it is right here. That one there is the one for the adjustment on the, I think that is a 1500 kilocycles. I believe that's what that is. Yeah, I think it is, because it says 1500 over here. So that one there, we've located it. This one here is a 15 megacycle, so that's going to be on the shortwave coil. And that one is going to be this one here. So that one's going to be for a shortwave at 15 megacycles when we get to that point. This one here is a wave trap adjustment. Some say you don't really have to worry about doing the wave trap because there is no no reason to do it anymore, because this is mostly for aircraft and marine radio stuff, to kind of take that out of the mix. So we're not going to worry too much about this right now. I noticed that on some radios, if you go too far with this adjustment, you will take out the low end. You will take out the low end of the broadcast band. In other words, where there would be a station down here low on the dial, you may not pick it up anymore if you go too far. I see my battery power is getting peaked. I was hoping to get this done before the battery gave out. So anyway, that is the wave trap. That is going to be that one down in there. Now, the 1500 megacycle RF is going to be taken up by, remember those two that I said were back in there? There was a set of two of them. There's an upper and a lower one there. Well, one of those two are going to be for the 1500. The other one is going to be for the 15 megahertz on the shortwave band. So those are where those two are located. The 600 kc patter is up here on the top of the chassis, and that is that thing right there. So my way of thinking, the first thing you do when you go to realign the radio is generally they will have you instruct you to hook into the grid of the first tube into the first IF or an RF tube, and feed the signal through that. So I'm hooked in right here. This gator wire goes in underneath there, and it ties in to pin 8 of the A7 tube, which is that one. And what we're going to do is we are going to adjust the IF cans and dial them in first before we do any of this other stuff. So that being said, let's take our first baby steps. I've got the signal generator dialed up. It's powered up. It is set to the, boy, this thing has a hard time focusing, to the 456 setting, and it instructs on the sheet. IFP 456. We're connected in to the grid and ground, and it doesn't, some radios say set it to 580, some radios say set it to 600, other radios say fully closed, fully meshed, or fully open. We're going to go with the fully meshed. So that means the banana slicer is not a banana slicer. So this is our first IF, this is our second IF. So what we're going to do, we got the volume up, The radio has been on for, I don't know, 30 minutes or so. The test equipment has been up for about, I don't know, 45 minutes or so. I think it'd be alright to start out. So what we're going to do is flip the switch and set the signal to interior. We're getting a pretty good signal going in. You want to set it down to the lowest audible setting that you can get it. And turn up your volume here. We can go a little bit lower, too low. That way you're not driving your AVC or AGC crazy and it wanting to adjust it. So we're setting it at the minimum amount of signal that it can receive. And we're going to go in here. I don't usually use this tool. I generally use this tool. The little sock on the end of it is because in case I encounter B plus on the secondary or primary coil, you don't want it arcing to the can, so I put a sock on it. Most of the time this does not affect the reception or the signal or the adjustment, but sometimes it does. So I'm going to try it with this, and if I can't do it, I'll go to that. Because that is a small little tip for that rather double-sized thing. Now, this would be the primary side, I guess. That would be the secondary side. We'll start with that. Let's put that in there, and we'll adjust it. And we'll do the primary side. Now, some of the times I may put a BTVM on the audio output primary side because there's more sensitivity there than the secondary side. But you can hook it to the secondary side. You just need to turn up the volume on your BTVM. I'm going to wing it and go just with ear so that I don't have a lot of stuff that I got to contend with. So now we'll make an adjustment on the primary side. Good enough. Now we'll come over here and we'll do the second IF. Good. Okay, we woke it up. So now we've got the IFs peaked. We can go into the RF now. So let me get my bearings and we'll be right back. Okay, everyone. I had to determine see if this phone will focus and stay there if I don't move it around. Generally what they'll have you do after setting your IFs is you'll go in and you'll set your broadcast limits, and we will need to use this 1500 setting for this trimmer and the 600. This is gonna set your max at the top end of your dial. You dial that in, get a good strong maximum signal. And then what you're going to do is, typically, from what I glean from all of this, I don't have basic theory down of why, wherefore, art thou, 2-0, fu. This is all based on my own considerations and what I've heard from others. Once you get that set, you set the top end of your dial. It may go farther, and in this case, 1600 would be right about in here, and that would be 1650. So there's more dial above that, above this figure, but that won't matter. So you'll set that limit, and then what you'll do is you'll fall back, you turn your dial and your sig gen to 600 kilocycles, and you will dial your stuff back to the 660 or 66 or 600, whichever your dial may show. And what you'll do is you'll adjust this pattern, and that pattern is this thing right here. Incrementally, boom, 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 until you bring in the maximum signal by rocking your tuner back and forth and back and forth. You won't need to move it much, just a little bit, back and forth, while tweaking this here, and you will go for the maximum signal. Now, most people that's done this before will be able to do it audibly by ear. I should say by ear, and determine the loudest portion of the adjustments. You can do it much more precisely if you hook up a get a frog in my throat. If you hook up a VTVM to your output, and your output is at max, you watch that dial needle move and move and move and move as you make the adjustments, and you go for the maximum signal that you can get out of it while still maintaining a setting of 60 in that range. And then you're done with the broadcast band, and then you can move into your upper RF band, the shortwave, and do whatever is needed on it. It is a lot easier if they generate a chart and show you the adjustments and how you step through them one by one, starting at your IFs and working your way into the other bands. This one here, you're not so fortunate. You're going to have to do this on feeling. I guess you could call it feeling. If you've done a few of these on different model radios with different offerings like shortwave, police, broadcast, or broadcast FM, or whatever. FN is a whole different animal. Uh, but we won't discuss that here. So after doing that, I'm going to skip this wave trap thing for the most part. Like I say, it's really not required that you blend this out to weed out the traffic that is no longer there. So we're going to dispense with that at this point. Okay, now remember I said there's 2 trimmers in there, an upper and a lower. Well, Jim, how do you know which one's which? One's for the 16 megacycle, and the other one's for a 15 kilocycle. Well, you can't determine that from here, because this one here is an upper and that one there is a lower. You could take your best shot, and hopefully you might hit it right, and you hit it wrong, and you really screw up your settings for these. How I determined it is because, let's see if I can get in here and still stay focused. Come on, focus, yeah. Okay. You see here, this is connection between A and B. A and B. This one here winds up on the B side. The other side goes to ground. This one here is tied into the D side and comes through a resistor and goes to ground. Well, over here they show you an A, B, C, D. That is, most of these things on this. This here is a top view, this here is a front view. Here are the lugs. And down here. Well, you can't figure too much from that, so here's what I did. One is without a resistor and one is. A. There's your breadcrumb. There's a 150 ohm resistor connected to that one, and that is the shortwave one. Looking at this thing, hopefully you can see it. I'm going to attempt to move this thing so you can see it. You see that brown bodied resistor with a black end and I think it's a dot on it, that kind of thing. That one there is connected to the upper trimmer. The other trimmer does not have a resistor hooked to it. This side over here doesn't matter because both of these go to ground. So we're looking at the side that doesn't go to ground, and there is that one resistor that is connected to that trimmer. So the top trimmer is your shortwave and the bottom one is your broadcast. That's how I determined that. There are a lot of other little tricks of the trade that you, if you can call it that you can to determine where you are in the schematic. Like I say, you'll have to develop your own techniques and document everything. I mean, I document everything. Look at this. The eye tube that was missing in this thing, of the thing. When I got it, well, I added it in after the fact and showed the connection points. You'll pick up little ideas and techniques of how to determine the location of where you are at any given point. Like a map. Follow the map, Herr Jones, and you will find the treasure that you seek. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do the 1500 adjustment, and then we're going to drop back to the 600 adjustment. The 600 adjustment is on that pattern. Whoop, where are you? There, right there. And the 1500 adjustment is on that trimmer right there, the bottom trimmer. So what I need to do is, what I'm doing is letting my damn battery charge up for the moment. I got the radio down low because this here just messes with the antenna, and we'll just get nothing but hash. So let me give the let me zoom out here. Let me give the battery a few more minutes to power up, get a little stronger, so I can put the halogens back on. I had to shut this thing down because it shares the same battery as the halogens when I put the halogens on battery power, and it was stressing the hell out of the battery. That is an old battery out of my car that couldn't handle the loads it was putting on it, and I was having to charge it every damn day on the car. And it's a bit small for my car, so I put a beefier Duralast in there from AutoZone, and it seems to be doing whatever I needed to do when I needed to do it. So give me a chance to go back in and back up my coffee. No, I'm not Canadian. And and then we'll come back out and we will get set up here for the next stage in alignment. So stay tuned. All right, people. Break's over. Notice the lighting is a lot better. It's been about, well, it's 10:30, and where we left off is we were getting ready to do the AM band 1500 megacycle. Yeah, I know it's supposed to be megahertz, kilohertz now. Did I say megacycle? No, it's a kilocycle. My bad. 1500. So I already told you how I determined which one was which. So I've got 1500 dialed in on my SIGGEN, and we still need to dial in the dial. So let's go. Up here to about 1500. Let's trigger it. Yeah, we got a little bit there. Now I'm going to have to get down a little lower here so I can see what the hell I'm looking at. about almost, well, it's beyond 1500. It's not even close. So what we're going to do is we gotta tweak that thing back in there. So let's see if I can use this thing to reach it. I'm about a 1/4 inch away, and the body of the thing is just too much. So we're going to have to go to this. So one way is up, one way is down. Let's see which way we went. Okay, we went higher. So we'll put this over on the 150, and we'll go back, and we'll go back the other way. There we are. And we'll go counterclockwise. Here she comes. See the eye tube? That is it. So, let's turn that down so we can think. We've got the 150 set up. Now we got to go to 600. We're starting to push 95 degrees in the dudgeon. So let's go back to 600. So we need to drop this. Pardon the reflect. We got a little sunlight this morning. Well, had quite a bit of sunlight this morning. So we're going to dial it back to 600. We're going to come these old SIG gens, they're calibrated pretty tight. I think I recalibrated this when I got it and checked it out with this thing. Now, one or the other could have been this situation where the errors are taken up. I have not done anything to my frequency counter since I've had it, and it's been pretty dead on ever since. So what I did was I set this up between the two of them to get them dialed in close as I can, and with these SIG gens of this era, unless they're digital and can give you a readout of what they're producing, you really, to know if you're in the ballpark, you really need a freak counter for these particular SIG gens. That's the reason why I've always started out with this. With an original SIG gen. I forget what it was, a Heath kit. I don't remember the model of it right offhand. But yeah, you can use these things, and they did back then. I don't know if they had counters way back in the day, but they got it pretty close, and that's the reason why they went 20% on just about everything that they used. And they, they recommend 1000 ohm per volt VTVMs, and that got you playing the game at least. But I've always wanted to know exactly what I was producing so that I could get it a little tighter. And that's the reason why I invested in one of these. If you're going to use one of these old type things and not a digital, you need to have one of these. So, I mean, just like glue, they go together, so to speak. So, let me get this dialed in. And I mean, you don't need to move very much on this SIGGEN in order to get a change in it. That's why you'll see me tapping the knob every once in a while in the lower or going to the upper position to get it close. It doesn't have to be exact, but to get it close as I can without going the opposite way. So now we're set at 600. Interior modulation is set. We're going to do this thing right here. Let's go back on the dial. Let me get my mohunkus hunkered down. Get some light up here. Get this down here. So we're pretty close there. I'm going to use my okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to twist this thing until we start dialing it in, and it looks like it's going to go clockwise. Now, let me show you what's happening here. Can't tell because of the glare. Let me get this here a little bit so it will focus a lot better. And get my screwdriver back in the see, we're overshooting it both ways, and you can see the magic eye. That is about peaked. Now, remember what I said about most of the procedures will tell you to move this, what do they call it, rock it back and forth and go to the highest peak signal. Well, if you're going to do that, you're going to need either an I-tube like this or a VTVM hooked into the audio output stage, where you can see the needle move, and you want the highest reading you can get out of it by rocking this back and tweaking, and rocking this forward and tweaking and everything. This one here, you can see it's not picking it. There it goes. So we're dead on there. So now most of the procedures will want you to go through that particular stage of adjustment again. And then you go back to setting your sig gen for 1500. Taking this back over to 1500. What we'll do just for shits and grins is, let me take that to 1500. Let me zoom you back out. No, out, 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 out. There. That's good enough. Let's go back. You can see where we peaked out. It's a little short. Let's get this over here out of the way. It's a little short, so we're going to go back in here. There we are. Now we'll go back to 600. There we go. Now we'll go back. We'll go back to 600 here. And the clamshell is slammed closed. So, there we are. We are done with the broadcast band. All the 600 does is set the tracking ability of the tuner. From what I understand. Now, one reason why you don't hear much from me, like most of the other restorers on YouTube, is they'll give you a bunch of background information on theory and everything, and they'll walk you through the steps involved and the stages and everything, and tell you why and why not, and wheretofore art thou, and everything else about the operation of the rig. I can't do that. Why? Because I've never been formally trained or educated, or what I know is only from what I pick up from others and what I read from certain documentation, or other forms of information. I can't tell you which one of these is the AVC circuit. It will take me a while to figure it out and everything, but I am just, I guess I'm an idiot, if you will. Not that that's a bad thing. It's only that I have never been formally educated in the operation of these radios. I can't tell you why this does this and that does that and everything, because I'm an idiot. But I know what works, and I know where to find it and where to look for it and everything. And because there's not too many components in a radio, it may look that way. And for some, yeah, all these capacitors in here, I think I said there was something like 17, including the E-caps that were in here. But I can't, I can number these caps and everything, and I can read a schematic and everything, but I can't tell you about the theory of operation, why this does that and this does this. I leave that to the more educated people and the ones that like to blab a lot. I mean, nothing impresses a dummy more than to listen to somebody who talks a bunch of crap but doesn't understand it. So I try to shy away from that. I'm no Canadian. So now that we got that portion of it done, we need to move into the shortwave band and take care of those items. And let me get my readers on. Surprised I didn't have them on before. This one here will be done last, I think, I believe, because it's on the antenna. The ones on the antenna are usually the last ones to be tweaked. So what we need to do now, the only thing that we can do with the shortwave band is go to this 15 megacycle trimmer, which is the upper one in this hole here, and tweak it to 15 megacycles on the SIGGEN. So what I need to do is pick this up in the band that I need. I'm at 20, almost 21, so I need to drop back. There we are. So we're at 15 megacycles. To all you oldies out there that understand it. Okay, so now what I need to do is kick this into shortwave. Just turn this up so we can hear when we get near it. Modulation's on. We're down near about 17. If we're not there already. Yeah, 15 would be right around in there somewhere. So what I need to do is is set that right there where I think it's going to be, and go in here. I'm going to need some light so I can see that trimmer in there. Alright, trouble is, camera is going to be in the way. Just turn this up so I can get some sound out of it. Excuse my jiggling and juggling and brackets. I'm not sure, but let's see if we can get it. Where are you? Trying to get all my extremities in the picture here. I'm not seeming to get this thing over here out of my way. Well, let's see if we can fiddle with it at the I need to get this thing into an area where I can get better. Yeah, hang on a minute. Alright. Let's see if we can live with this. Alright, let's... Now, we diminished it there. Let's go back. So we got to go back the other way. Well, I can't see that. I can't see the groove in that screw. I'm not sure that we can get there. Boy, we're not moving the needle very much. So, I mean, we're pretty loose on the trimmer. And we're not moving the needle very much. A lot of the times, you know, you can... A lot of the times you can just look at the trimmer and you make a big change in the needle. This one here is, I mean, we're still way above 16, and we're still way above 16, and we're not gaining a lot of ground. We're gaining some, but we're not gaining enough to make up this difference here. So what I'm thinking is that resistor, and this is just a guess on my part, my battery's going dead again. That resistor has got to be increased or decreased in order to produce a larger change in the needle. So what we're going to do is we're going to end this right here, because this one here is going way over time. And I'm going to go in here and mess with that resistor and see if I'm going to check it first and see what that value was, and then we're going to go up or down on it and substitute and see where we are on the dial, provided I don't mess with it and knock it off too much. So oh, by the way, we're on a regular loop. This is only, I think, a couple of turns of about 6 inches diameter, and it is just loosely coupled to the antenna. So that's how we're doing this shortwave. So anyway, we'll be back later. This has gone way over. You get the gist. We'll show you the result in the next video. So hope you guys have a good Tuesday. Taco Tuesday. We'll see you on the next installment. Thanks for watching, everyone.